In this tutorial, I'm going to show you a secret hack to make shuffling super easy. So, as you can see in the videos, I'm actually shuffling up on a tree and balancing because, like I said, this is actually going to show you a super easy way to do it. So, to all the people though who subscribe to my channel for health and fitness reasons, you've probably wondered so far why I do that weird little dance in between my circuits. And you're wondering now especially why I'm doing this video about shuffle dancing, because who cares, right? So the basic reason behind that is that it's like jumping rope for a boxer. It improves your endurance and cardiovascular system, but you don't need an actual jump rope. Literally anywhere you go, you have your feet, right? So you can just do this to improve your endurance, your cardiovascular system, and if you do it the way that I do it, you can also improve your balance with it. Also, if you happen to be in one of those situations where you're going to an event, you don't know very many people, and there's the sort of obligatory bar/dance floor kind of situation, this will give you something to do so you're not a wallflower. So a lot of the other tutorials that I'm sure you've already looked at start with the running man and the T-step to get into this. There's a reason why I started with this instead. For one, I believe it's easier. For another, I believe it's more foundational. It's more like where it all begins. And also it's going to help you with your musicality because it's so simple that, the running man is just 2 steps that you repeat on each side. So that's a logical place to start. However, most people who learn that move and then try to actually do it look ridiculous because they're not doing it on beat or not hitting the beat correctly. So I think it's easier to learn musicality and stuff like that from learning this move first. So basically how this works is you're going to start with whatever foot forward. That doesn't really matter. The important thing is that, like cutting shapes or a lot of other things, a lot of other dance related things apparently, one side of your body is going to be moving faster than the other. In other words, like your foot that you're hopping on, in the context of this, I'm just going to say like my left foot, but it doesn't matter. It's whatever foot makes you hoppy. Ugh, dad joke. So anyways, that foot is just going to hop. That's it. It's going to hop straight back every single time, and then your other foot is going to alternate between going up and down. Sounds pretty simple, but here's where people screw it up. 2 things. One, your foot that's going up, and this one, it's going to be my right foot, I think. The foot that goes up is going to go up on an and beat and down on an actual beat. And here's what I mean by on beat. We might as well practice now and start with that. So kind of a funny way of understanding when you're supposed to move and whatever is this boots and cats thing. So most you don't care about timing and all that. If you cared about all that, then you're already a dancer and you don't need this. But if you're just a normal, regular, not into all of that kind of thing, then basically what you got to understand is that most songs are going to be beat and high beat and low beat and high beat is one way to put it, I guess, right? So this is called 4/4, and most other songs that are not 4/4 time, you can still look right, like you're doing the right thing, even if it's not 4/4 time, if you just keep 4/4 time. So that's what that's referring to. So an easy way to do that is boots and cats and 4 beats, right? So, or 4, not beats, but 4 things that make it up. So whenever you're doing this, your left foot's just going to hop. That's all it's going to do. And this easy first way of starting, it's just going to hop back every single time. So it's going to hop back on boots and cats and. So whenever you hear the song, you're going to hear like, right? So the and is sort of implied. In some music you're going to hear the and, but in most cases you're going to hear a bass beat and a high thing of some nature. Typically it's going to be a bass drum and a what am I trying to say, in the snare. Those are going to be your actual beats, and then your hi-hat is going to be all your ands in between, right? So anyways, whenever you're doing this, that foot is going to go back on everything that you hear. So if you ever like seen a white girl in a club and she's like moving constantly, doing all kinds of stuff, she's actually hitting on she's hitting on the and beat and the actual beat is what she's doing. So that's fine for one of your legs, the leg that you're hopping on. Do that. But the other leg is going to hit only the beat, so it's going to hit boots, cats. That's it. So your other foot is doing boots and cats, and then your other foot is doing just boots and just cats. And that's basically the dynamic of how the whole thing works. Whether you're doing a running man or whatever. I'm going to show you how to do all that stuff in this, but that's how the whole concept works of cutting shapes and of the Melbourne Shuffle or whatever. So most dancing related things from what I've seen follow that algorithm. So anyways, the first thing that you're going to do is of course the thing that I just showed you, right? So you've got that down. What I would encourage you to do right now is basically just do that and practice not just lifting your leg up and dropping your leg down, but once you get that down and you can do it on the beat, and here's what I mean. Listen to a song, and then when you hear the bass, the boof, right? Your foot needs to hit the ground, not the hopping foot. And then when you hear the ch, your foot needs to hit the ground. And then in between, that's when your and happens, and your other foot needs to hop on every single and the boots and the cats. There you go. So listen to the song, say boots and cats, and pay attention to what your left foot is doing, or your hopping foot. Pay attention to what your not hopping, your stomping foot is doing. I don't know what this move is called. I think usually it's referred to as a roach stomp, is the funny way of referring to it, so I'm just going to call it that. So now that you got that down, the next logical step, I think I'm going to jump straight into the running man, because I know you've been waiting for that. And really all the running man is rotating between that on one side and that on the other side. So basically what you do here is you start out with your hopping foot forward, I guess, and then that hopping foot is going to move backward as your roach stomping foot goes up, right? And then that hopping foot is going to go back again, roach stomping foot goes forward, and then you switch, start the whole thing over. The reason why I talk the other thing first is because really when you think about the running man, that sounds complicated, but really all it is two things that you do, like feet on the ground split, foot up, feet on the ground split, other foot up. And you just keep going back and forth between that. It's super simple. But the problem is you're going to look ridiculous if you're not doing it on beat. And so the concept here is you're going to notice as you're doing it that one of your feet is moving more than the other if you're doing it correctly, and that is the boots and cats, your hopping foot. And then your other foot is going to be the one that's just stomping down. So when your leg goes up, great, that looks. When your leg goes up, that's the and then it stomps down, and that's either the boots or the cats, whatever. It's the actual beat, which can be either boots or cats. Then the other goes up and then goes down. You just switch. You rotate your hips, and the other foot is in front, the one that was behind. So in practice, you're just raising one foot up, dropping it down, and the other foot that's not being raised up and dropped down is scooting back. Same as the thing that I just showed you, except you're switching feet in between so that you stay relatively stationary. You can also like rotate around, travel in different directions towards or away from the camera or audience or whatever. That makes it look a lot better, because you don't really want to do the running man for more than just like, how many beats would that be? Basically, like, if you've switched legs twice, you've done it too long, or that's like the appropriate amount of time to do it. So anyways, you don't want to just like continuously do it. You'll look like an idiot. So anyways, as far as health and fitness and all that though, you're going to notice pretty quick if you've actually tried this that you're going to get really worn out, really tired, and it's actually like a lot harder, not the technique, but just like continuously doing it. There's a reason why the people who do this typically are in shape. That's probably not a coincidence, because it's kind of a difficult thing to do for an extended period of time. So the next move is going to be, let's see, what do you got? You got the little rope stomp thing down. You got the running man thing down, and then you understand that you can just do either of these moves rotationally by just spinning on the foot that you're standing on. That's pretty much all you got to do to rotate or to move in one direction or the other. All you really need to do is just like focus on, all right, I'm going to do the same thing I'm doing, but I'm going to move to the left or move to the right or spin around. So I don't want to break down the details of that. And I might show a clip of me breaking down the details of that. That's really not a thing that you need to know every little step of, because you're going to naturally do it, believe it or not. If you get the original steps down, to rotate it or to move it across, if you just try to do it, you're going to do it right. So that being said, the other thing is I don't actually know what this is called, but this is two separate moves. One is a